Hello, welcome back. This is video number 2, and if you saw video number 1, thank you. If you clicked on this video after video number 1, thank you. If this is your first video, thank you. And if you're just here to click, listen to my voice for 5 seconds and leave, also thank you. So, first video was like a little, while I'm doing YouTube. Second video is precursor into what I'm going to be doing later. So the past 3 months, I've been reading, actually, and I read 7 books. First book I read was Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, that actually started this entire goal setting of 2022, and so I'm going to share that with you guys next video. The next 6 books were actually from the Ranger's Apprentice series by John Flanagan. I read this series back in like 6th or 7th, like middle school basically, and it's a very simple series, simple like verbiage, simple literature, but it's still very good. I think it holds up pretty well. There were some grammatical issues in the first book that I saw that I'll cover later on, but basically what I'm trying to say is this is the first set of books I've read since my reading slump of like a 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. And so the reason I started with these books is because I knew that they're going to be simple reads. It's not going to take a lot of brain power. And when I'm in a reading slump, I want something simple to get me out of the slump or get me into something, you know? I don't want to commit to a 500, 800 page book when I'm coming out of a reading slump, because I'm just going to read like 100 pages of it and be like, all right, I'm done. Peace. I started reading these books. Now, I've reread this series like twice. So I think this is my 3rd time. And it's basically, long story short, it's, nothing's gonna be here once again. Short king shoots long bow. That is it. That's the best way to explain it. It's still very good. I like the characters. The characters are simple. The setting is nice. All that stuff I'll talk about later. How I got into a reading slump. Because you would think that if you read so much and you like reading, can you get in a slump with it? Obviously, you can burn out on anything that you do for a long period of time. With me, it was basically a lack of access to books once I hit college, because up till this point, in middle school, elementary school, high school, I either had the school library or the public library, and I would just go there for all my book needs. And once I hit college, I checked out the local bookstore, or rather like the library on campus. Nothing there. And I didn't really want to go get another like public library kind of membership yet, so I didn't. And then my girlfriend at the time had a membership to her public library in her town, so I used that. And it was okay. It wasn't a huge selection, so I just kind of like stopped reading for a bit, because in addition to that, I just didn't find books that I wanted to read. I had just gotten done reading Cinda Williams Chima's books for like the 100th time in a row, because I just love her books. And I was like, I'll just chill on reading. And once I got into college, since I had like the freedom of time and everything, I just sunk a lot of my time into gaming. League of Legends. You know, if you're watching this, you know what League of Legends does to you. So I stopped that in sophomore year. Along with I was reading a lot. I was playing a lot of other games and rarely reading. And on top of that, I was reading a lot for college classes. I just didn't feel like picking up a book, because I was like, I just burned my eyes reading. I just want to turn my brain off at night, watch YouTube videos, game, do something. And so stopped reading for a bit. I did pick up reading again in the summer of 2018, because I had an internship, which was a little bit away from campus, and so I was gonna take the train there, and I had like 20-25 minutes on the train of doing nothing, and I could just sit there listen to music, I could sit there listen to podcasts. I thought, let me just start reading again. And it was around that time that I'd convinced myself that I could invest in a Kindle. Shout out Kindle, mine's updating. But it was around that time that I thought I'll try reading again. But I didn't want to buy books again. So I, with Amazon Prime or whatever, they give you that 3-month free Kindle Unlimited subscription, or whatever, not free, but like reduced price Kindle Unlimited subscription. So I did that. I basically read as many books as I could over the summer from like Kindle Unlimited that I actually want to talk about later on. So I'm gonna write that down. Because I'm not anywhere near my notepads, but I'm gonna pretend like I'm writing it down. Kindle Unlimited. Let's talk about that later. So I spent 3 months. It was a really good, like, going to work reading, coming back from work, opening up my Kindle and reading. Amazing de-stressing time. I don't think I ever missed a stop. Did I ever miss a stop? I didn't actually. And yeah, I never missed a stop, luckily. I think I was close a few times. There was one time I was like asleep and I woke up and I was like, oh my god, my stop is like right here. But anyways, so I did read summer of 2018, summer of 2019. I didn't. Okay, yeah, so 2018 I was reading a lot. I tried to keep it going during school, but it fell off again. 2019 happened. I had a lot of stuff going on with school. In the summer, what was I doing in the summer? Did I have a summer that year? Masters, that's what it was. I was in my masters for college and everything, still didn't want to read. It's actually the summer I started One Piece. You understand. Side note, I finished One Piece, I caught up to One Piece in 2019 in a month and a half. Still got all my grades and studied. Just not that much, because all I did was No Life One Piece. Got home from classes and was just right-clicking on the episodes like a blur. It was worth it. But anyways, I stopped reading in 2018. I think every now and then I picked up a book. So basically what happened was I didn't realize that after the Seven Realms series, Cinda Williams-Chima actually released her Flamecaster series. So Flamecaster basically takes place after Seven Realms. It's a successor, but it's not such a direct sequel that like you have to read the first one. She claims that you don't have to read Seven Realms to understand Shattered Realms, which to an extent you don't. If you did not read Seven Realms first, you would probably like Shattered Realms better, for the sole reason of what happens in book 1. But we're gonna leave that to another day when I actually want to talk about this. My buddy and I went on a rant about this together a couple of weeks ago, talking about why we don't like it. But I did not realize she had those books, so I read Flamecaster, I think 2019, and then what was it, Deathcaster, Stormcaster, and Shadowcaster. So I was like, oh, she has all these books. I didn't even realize she had sequels. I have to read them like right now. So I did. So there was like a small little mini excursion back in. I think I was reading these in the summer as well, probably. And I just had these like small little spurts of reading, but never really continuously. And then I literally just dropped it. I dropped it in 2019, 2020. Masters was happening, CPA was happening, work was happening, etc. So I stopped. And so now I really told myself, I want to get back into reading because it is one of the biggest things that I enjoy, and I enjoy talking about it with people, me talking, so that's kind of why I started up again, and it was because of Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. Next video, promise. Thank you, promise. So I I'm still reading on my Kindle though, to be honest. I'm not trying to go get a ton of books. There is a public library next to me that I'm gonna check out to see if it has good, like, a good catalog. But the whole reason why I got a Kindle was because, one, I don't want a ton of physical copies of books that I'm only gonna read, that I only read once. I'd rather get them from a public library or get them digitally. I don't like audiobooks. I really don't. Like, if I read, I want to read for the sake of, like, you know, physically reading it. I don't want to listen to it in a sense. And I also don't trust that the audio is going to be super, like, nice. Of, like, I'm going to like the way they talk. I'm going to like the way they inflect certain characters, certain conversations. I might not like the way they're, like, you know, their tone, all that stuff. So I haven't really put myself in audiobooks. And if I did, I think it'd only be for, like, self-help, productivity, those kind of books, not any, like, fantasy books. So, you know, I still have my Kindle, and that's what I got the 12, is it 12? I think it's 12, right? Yes. Oh, updating, 1 sec, updating. Boom. Yes, 12. Wait for it. 11. Actually, not 12. There's 11 of these books. I read the first 6. I actually have the 6th one down here. I think I got it one day when, like, I might have seen it at, like, a Barnes & Nobles or a half-price books, and I got it. I still like it. I don't know if I'll get all of them in physical copy, mainly because I don't mind this being one that I just have in, like, digital. Because I bought these, like, legit. I did not rent them or something, because I know that in the future I'll probably just want to go back and read through them again. They're a very light read. That's what I like. It's a very not lighthearted story, but it's a very light reading. Not super, like, I don't know what's going on. The author is taking you in, like, twists and turns and doubling back and flipping forward and foreshadowing. It's very much like straight path, straightforward. Things can be predictable, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it right now. I do have other books that I want to read though, which is also what I want to talk about. I think either after I finish the next 5 books of Ranger's Apprentice, I want to read this one, or I might read this one next, just to split up the series. But I think I'll read the whole series first, just so it's done in completion for at least a year. But I do want to read the Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake, mainly because I've heard really good things about it, and I think this is like a one, like, off book. I don't know if this is for a series or not, but the cover here says, "Seek it if you wish, but as with all knowledge, whatever follows will be yours to bear alone," which is kind of, like, cool. It's basically saying, do it if you want, but whatever happens is on you, you know? It's very generic, but it's also kind of nice. So I want to read that one next, and so I don't think I'll get any new books until I read the next 5 of Ranger's Apprentice, and then read Olivia Blake's The Atlas 6 after that. Because I just thought about this. John Flanagan also has another set of books called the Brother Band Chronicles. So I'm kind of interested in that. I don't know. I might put it on my list and see how I feel about it in a couple of months, or I might maybe wait till next year or, like, later in the year, because, hear me out. Cinda Williams-Chima is releasing her next series in November, and it's based on Norse mythology, which, for those of you who don't know, is, like, my favorite mythology, storyline, caricature, no, is caricature the right word? Caricature. a rendered image showing the features of its subject in a simplified or exaggerated way. That's not what I meant. I meant the characters slash entities that are involved in Norse mythology. Let's go with that. So I want to read that one, but I kind of want to reread some of her books before that. It's a separate series, but I just like having like my Cinda Williams Chima like itch kind of satisfied. So also I hit my mic. I'm so sorry. Please don't click off the video. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. So I might read her old Air Chronicle series, which I want to get all of Cinda Williams Chima's books in physical copy for sure, because those are the books that keep me reading. I don't know why, but they're really good. So I just want to keep reading them. So I reread them a lot anyways. When I'm in like a new book slump, I just go back to old books like hers. So I think those are kind of like what the outlook is for the next couple of months. Finishing up John Flanagan's books, reading the Atlas 6, reading maybe like the 5 Air Chronicles books, which are Warrior Air, Wizard Air, Dragon Air, Sorcerer Air, and Enchanter Air. These 3 are like super kind of connected. The last 2, I didn't discover them until years after I'd read the first 3, and they're like a bit disjointed from the story, but like the characters from the first 3 still show up in the second 2 and the last 2. So it's kind of weird in that sense. I'm kind of curious about her timeline on that. But yeah, so a little bit of advice to you if you're trying to get into reading is start with something very simple and very short. 30-minute reads, 1-hour reads, 1-day reads almost, if you want to like spend a Saturday or Sunday afternoon cozied up in a blanket and just reading a book to completion. Those are really nice because it's like, oh nice, I finally read a book, I finished it, and it was a good one. Maybe it made you feel good, and then you keep looking for the next one. But yeah, aside from that, let me know what you guys are reading right now, if you're reading something right now, if you're listening to something right now, if you're podcasting, if you're booktubing. Let me know what you're reading, and I'll see you guys in the next one.